Hello everyone, I am Ibrahim Abdula, YouthMappers Regional Ambassador based in Sierra Leone. Today I'm excited to inform you all that we've started the YouthMappers Regional Ambassador webinar series with an inaugural event, mapping our world, fostering geospatial skills and development training, which features esteemed regional ambassadors across the world. These Youth Mappers Regional Ambassador webinar series are primarily led by Youth Mappers Regional Ambassadors to share their experience, their skills in leadership as well as in geospatial field. We have different participants who registered for this event from different countries, and they are excited to learn a lot from this. Thank you all for believing in this dream. Thank you to the Youth Mappers for this wonderful initiative. To time in the future, we'll be having different series that will be talking in different areas like leadership, etc. Stay tuned as we move with this wonderful training. Thank you. Yes, I'll be taking you through the overview of this event. So permit me to share my screen. Hi, thank you so much. Of course, this is the Youth Mappers Regional Ambassador Webinar Series 2023. We'll start with our first event, Mapping Our World, Fostering Geospatial Skills and Training. And of course, this is for 2 days, the 23rd and the 24th September 2023. This event is being organized under Youth Mappers, mainly led by Youth Mappers Regional Ambassadors. This is our day one agenda of the event. Of course, these are partners, various partners of Youth Mappers. These are founding partners: Texas Tech, George Washington, West Virginia, USAID, and all of these are our partners. For now, Youth Mappers covers 5,000 plus university students, mappers, and about 370 campus chapters and 72 countries. This is our activity map we've contributed. Of course, just like what I was saying, the Youth Mappers Regional Ambassador Webinar Series are virtual events that are primarily led by Youth Mappers Regional Ambassadors. And today, we start with our inaugural event, Mapping Our World, Fostering Geospatial Skills. These are objectives: empower youth with geospatial skills and knowledge, create a platform for youth mappers, regional ambassadors to share their experience and expertise, highlight significant skills and developments in addressing global challenge. Of course, it also serves as a collaboration and networking. These are participating countries. We have more than 20 countries that's registered for this. And of course, Africa is leading with 95.3%. Now, permit me to introduce our guests and also our facilitators for this wonderful event. Of course, I'm your host, Ibrahim Abdula, Youth Mappers Regional Ambassador based in Sierra Leone. You can read my profile on the Youth Mappers website. These are the one facilitator, Erick Tamba. He's also Youth Mapper Regional Ambassador based in Sierra Leone, based in Tanzania, sorry, please. And we have also the one facilitator, Nishan Kumar Aryal, Youth Mappers Regional Ambassador based in Nepal. They're all here to share their experience with us. We have the two facilitators for this wonderful training. We have Maya Lovo, based in Mexico. She's also a Youth Mappers Regional Ambassador. You can read her profile in Youth Mappers website. We have the two facilitator as well, Mr. Victor. He's also a Youth Mapper Regional Ambassador based in Nigeria. They're all here to share their experience. I'm excited also to introduce our special guest, Elodie Nix, Technical Project Manager for Youth Mappers. She's here to share her experience to us, and we are honored to have her to share our inspiration, our journey through Youth Mappers. Thank you as we move to another segment of the event. Our special guest for this wonderful event, who is not less a person but the technical project director for Youth Mappers, Miss Elodie Nix from the United States. You are highly welcome, to this wonderful event. Yes, we can clap for her if we are really happy, you know.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for the warm welcome. So, hi, my name is Elodie Nix. Thank you so much for inviting me to join your webinar as a special guest and for the really warm welcome, for all the claps. Thank you. I'm very honored and grateful to be here today and have the opportunity just to share a little bit more about my background with YouthMappers and listen in on the sessions and learn a little bit more from all of you guys. So I recently joined YouthMappers in the role of Technical Projects Manager. I also work with the American Geographical Society as Manager of Sponsored Events. In both of these positions, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work directly in areas that I'm interested in and with people who share my passion for all things geography, GIS, education, and collaboration. Having the opportunity to work full-time with YouthMappers now seems like a dream come true. I first learned about OSM in my university's chapter through a GIS course I took during my undergrad. Since I first became involved with YouthMappers almost 4 years ago, I have served as training coordinator for my chapter, worked as a validator for a year with the Validation Hub, and attended the YouthMappers Leadership Summit as a tech navigator. I had no idea that when I went to my first mapathon that it would pretty much completely change my life and my perspective on GIS. I also did not expect to be welcomed so warmly by everyone involved in the network. The Validation Hub to me was really the momentum that pushed me further into the YouthMappers community. I was fortunate enough to engage with chapters all over the world and hear firsthand about the impacts of the data they were creating and that I was in turn validating. When I first joined the Validation Hub, the hub was working with chapters in Sierra Leone to validate the power pole mapping project. So I spent many, many hours seeing the edits that everyone in Sierra Leone made and helping tag the power poles from your guys' Mapillary field mapping project. The summer before my final year of university, I was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship through my school to attend the State of the Map conference in Florence. I never thought that I would get this scholarship and let alone have it sort of lead to everything else that came. And it was at this conference that I learned so much more about all the different opportunities, resources, and tools that YouthMappers offers. Fast forward a few months, I was invited to attend the YouthMappers Leadership Summit in Jamaica as a tech navigator, and that was a completely surreal experience, meeting so many like-minded students who are passionate about the same things that I was. And I recognize many of you all from Jamaica, so it's really good to see you all again. After the summit, I went back to university really excited about all the things that I learned that I could bring back to my chapter. And at the time, I held the position of training coordinator in my chapter, so I was responsible for training new mappers. And when I came back, I decided to host a JOSM training for my chapter and a field mapping project. Our chapter set out to map the locations of litter and trash cans around our university campus using field papers. And so that was a really great experience to help share the knowledge that I learned from the YouthMappers Summit to the other students at my chapter. Everything that I was doing with YouthMappers strongly aligned with everything that I was learning in my classes. I majored in geography and minored in GIS and sustainability. And throughout my coursework, I became really interested in topics of environmental and climate justice, or how environmental burdens and the impacts of climate change affect various communities and countries differently. One of the big things that drew me to GIS initially was the ability to take data and to tell a story. And as data creators, data editors, or cartographers, we hold a lot of power within the maps that we make. What is and is not mapped, who it is mapped by, and how it's mapped influences us on varying scales, from our individual day-to-day lives to how whole countries and regions have developed. Maps have immense power. Throughout history, some map makers have abused that power to ensure that their desires and biases are most visible. But YouthMappers is unique in the sense that the students are at the heart of what the program is all about. YouthMappers is truly a movement by the students, for the students, and it's great to have a network where we all share to leave a mark on our communities. And YouthMappers offer so many tools and trainings and networks and more to really prepare ourselves to go out with courage and to create change that responds to the needs of our communities. And all of you possess that potential to decide how and where you put yourselves on the map. Many people might learn about YouthMappers and what we're doing and say, well, hasn't the whole world already been mapped? I know I've been asked that many times, and I always say, no, it hasn't. Our world is constantly changing. Humans and natural forces are constantly reshaping and changing the Earth. With improved technology, we can apply even greater precision and accuracy to what we map. There will always be new tools that will more accurately measure, map, and quantify the world. In this field, they're always going to be curious and to share that knowledge with each other. At the core of everything YouthMappers does, it is the desire to not only build maps, but build mappers, as I'm sure you all have heard before. And as mappers, we are responsible for cultivating the next generation of mappers and instilling that courage and confidence for them to take on leadership roles where we can lead with passion and inclusivity. YouthMappers would not be what it is today without all of you advocating for collaborative mapping that reflects the values of each of our communities. This webinar series is a really great example of the change that can result from collaborating with each other and really learning from each other. I hope today offers you greater insight to the variety of tools that can aid you as you continue into professional settings, leadership roles, or any other path you choose to take. And I'm very excited to have the opportunity to be here and learn from you all and to continue to expand my own skill sets. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you again for taking the time to hear what I have to say. And I really look forward to having the opportunity to work with you all in the future. And thank you to Ibrahim and the entire planning community for inviting me here to speak with you all today and for organizing this wonderful event. So thank you all.
Adi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Elodie. We are actually inspired. During the Youth Mappers Leadership Fellow Summit in Jamaica, I was fortunate to have his mentorship, had tutoring, to have a tutoring, mentorship, and trust me, I learned a lot. And today, with this, you've inspired many youth mappers around the world. We are blessed and we are honored. Thank you so much. And without wasting time, we are going on proper to the training. I think I need to share my screen for me to introduce our next speaker, our next facilitator for this wonderful event. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome, to introduce our next facilitator. Let me introduce this young man, Erick Tamba, based in Tanzania. Erick is an environmental scientist, researcher, a geographer, geographical information system specialist with 3 years experience of Tanzania, a non-governmental organization aimed at utilizing geospatial technology to help advance sustainable development goals. In the past 3 years, through the Youth Mappers program, he has helped support data-based decision-making towards community climate-related challenges by implementing community open mapping projects using a geographical citizen science approach support with multi-stakeholder engagement. He dreams to see a network of team players among youth who are focused on finding solutions for their community by giving out insights and educate their local community, especially marginalized groups, through capacity development and mentorship. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have this experienced geospatialist in this wonderful webinar today, and I'm sure we are going to learn a lot from him. Permit me to welcome our first facilitator for today's webinar series, Erick Tamba, Youth Mappers Regional Ambassador based in Tanzania.
See my screen?
Yes.
Right, thanks. Let me just end this call here from this side. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Ibrahim. And again, just to have a quick, introduction to our first session, which is introduction to GIS and mobile data collection. So if anyone could, just go to Mentimeter from his or her device and enter that code there and tell us how do you identify yourself in the geospatial field? Because I understand we come from different backgrounds. YouthMappers is a global network, and we have different people, from different causes, from law and also geospatial studies. So you could tell us on how, what is your level in terms of, beginner is someone who has never heard of GIS, intermediate is someone who has tried to apply GIS, and for advanced is someone who has been in the field, who has been studying geopolitics or GIS. So yeah, please take time to respond to that question. So you just go to, okay, so let me just copy that link. Thank you for coming in. Let me just share that link to the chat, sharing it right away so that everyone can respond to that question. So that's the link for our short survey. Please, you could try responding to that. So yeah, I see one intermediate, so you could keep on, then I'll come back to that at the end of my 30 minutes presentation. Okay. I hope everybody's seeing my screen. So again, as I mentioned earlier, we are coming from different backgrounds, and YouthMappers, this session is to help us and different kind of skills for sustainability of our chapters.
Hello, you can hear me now, right?
Yes.
Thanks. So in this session, I'll be covering introduction to GIS and its components, application of GIS in various fields, and then we'll see open source mobile data collection tools. So just to start with the introduction to GIS, there are three terms that are normally used in the field of geospatial technology, and that is remote sensing, geographical information system, geographical positioning system. So GIS itself is like a system from data capture to representing the information to the targeted group, while remote sensing is capturing information without getting physical contact with object. But GPS or geographical positioning system, it helps to acquire accurate information of a geographical feature. So targeting in GIS as an introduction part, it involves capture, store, analysis, model, manage, and display, as well as represent information. So for instance, from the image, you can see, let's say we have a device, which is a GPS device used to capture data. Then the data is stored in the hard drive. Then the data can be analyzed and used to model. Then any user can manipulate the data in terms of managing that data. Then display or later represent that data or information to the targeted group. Then yeah, GIS simplifies work. So as you can see, there's a cartoon says Excel is not a database, but then you can't tell easily the minimum and maximum values, but GIS has simplified that. You can create different kind of visualization to tell actually what the information that is going on from large data set. Yeah. So while we are discussing on GIS, it's important to acknowledge our important figures. So we have Dr. John Snow, who is famous of creating cholera map, where people believe that cholera is spread by air. Then he made it clear that cholera is spread by contaminated water. Then we also have Roger Tomlinson, who wrote a book about thinking about GIS. You can easily search the book and get it on the web. So yeah, I'll touch bases in a nutshell of components of GIS. So we have hardware, software, data, skilled people, methods and procedure, as well as network. So hardware is simply the instrument used for GIS work. So it's actually very important to know the specification of your hardware before you acquire it, and that depends on the kind of GIS work that you're doing. So if an cartoon says, you might wonder that something is loading, but maybe your computer or your device has crashed, so maybe it doesn't meet the specifications. We have software. So software is a program that runs in the hardware. So we have open source and commercial source. I think Victor will touch bases on open source software, that is QGIS. And again, open source is free in terms of the source code, and also you can download it to use on your GIS work. In terms of data, what makes data, have a geographic component is the spatial component, meaning the longitude and latitude of that data set. So we have spatial data and non-spatial data, where non-spatial data means data that describes the characteristics of spatial features. Okay, so again, in terms of spatial and non-spatial data, people could also categorize as vector and raster. So as youth mappers, we have interacted with vector data a lot, adding points, line, and areas on OpenStreetMap. So GIS also works with those kind of data sets as well as raster. So raster data sets include satellite imagery that we put on the background that we use to digitize buildings, roads, and points of interest. And also this tells more on, a vector tells more on the point, line, and polygon features. So with spatial analysis, you can tell on the soil type, land use type, street names, population of an area. Also, you can tell about customers of an area. So using spatial analysis, that I think vector touch bases is when you can tell more of the information about those kind of data set that I mentioned. So I'll just touch bases again on data sources and understanding data structure. So sources of vector data. So geoportals, like searching the data on the web, you can easily find GIS data there. But I would like to share OpenStreetMap as one of the sources of vector data set that you contributed. You could use them in your projects and different activities. In terms of format, we have different kind of vector data formats. So the famous one is SHP. So those who don't know what a format is just an extension after the name of your file. So there's a funny meme here, says, whenever you want to send someone data, don't ever forget the mandatory files. Don't only send the SHP, send also the other mandatory files that include ADF, which tells about the attribute information, and the one that says more about the feature geometry and coordinate system information as well. So I'll just jump to sources of raster data. So we have a famous one, which is USGS Explorer, but again, there are a lot of sources of raster data. So USGS offers satellite imagery, land use imagery as well. Also digital elevation models, so you could explore more on the platform and learn more. Also, so I mentioned on satellite imagery, but again, we have picture taken by drones. All those are raster data formats. So again, here is just an example of which is format, and in the left is a satellite imagery with 30-meter resolution. But in the right, we have 1-meter resolution imagery captured by a drone. So this advancement of tools help us to get more reliable data in terms of our activities. Yeah, so by getting raster data, we can also tell different kind of use cases. So for instance, here we have a coastal erosion. So from here, you can simply see how coastal erosion has happened in this area. And yeah, another component is skilled people, you, me, and everyone that is enthusiastic about GIS. So you can be a GIS technician, GIS analyst, developer. So you need to just acquire important skills that you think you might want to use in your GIS work. So yeah, maybe you might be interested to be a GIS project manager, then start learning how to go about the project management using GIS as a tool. Another very, very important component is method and procedure. So in here, you ask yourself in your GIS work, what experts do you need? What are the plans and rules that you need in your project? What software will you need in terms of different specifications, such as your cost and the team that you have, which database management system you prefer, and also the standard of your work, of your output that you need. So yeah, it's very important to figure out method and procedure before attempting to do any GIS work. So from method and procedure, the important thing from GIS is turning data into information. And so you can ask yourself, you have different kind of data sets, let's say school levers. So you might want to know the distribution of, levers, distribution of ponds or schools in your area so that you could make a better informed decision. So in here, you have a raster imagery in the left, which tells you could see easily a river course. And this is a false composite. So vegetation are represented by red. So yeah, it could be used in land. It could be used in land use and cover changes analysis. And in the light, you see how GIS can be used in simulating real-time flood forecasting system. So yeah. Another last component is network. But again, if you're using a standalone GIS work in terms like you have your own desktop, you might sometimes need it or not. But if you're communicating with different kind of experts around the world, you might need network in terms of data sharing, information sharing, and presenting your outputs. So there are different areas actually GIS can be applied, from geosciences, urban and rural development. flood and disasters. So GIS is very wide, and everyone has a role to play in terms of your skills. Um, so you can easily get this inspirational video that BBC tried to employ GIS. It's called Anatomy of Killing. It's in YouTube. You could just watch it and see how GIS was used to track people who did murder in somewhere in some part of Cameroon, and you could tell how they knew that they are the ones and where they did it actually. So it's kind, you could get an inspiration idea from the video. Yeah, so that's the first part. The second part will be open source mobile data collection tools. So just tell this in a nutshell. For more, in depth, I think I'll share the resources and probably get into contact with you so that we could discuss more on different topics that maybe you wanted a deeper understanding on. So first thing before going to field collect data, you just need to understand how the device works. So for instance, we have a user segment. That is your device, a mobile phone. So a mobile phone has a location tool. So when you switch on the location, different satellites send signals to your location so that you can know the accurate position that you're trying to collect data at. So for instance, we have an application called GPS Waypoint in Android. So you go maybe in the Play Store, you can have something to demonstrate the dashboard of it. So in the dashboard, you can tell on the latitude and longitude, which tells about the spatial the spatial detail of the object or any point that you're trying to capture from the field. Altitude tells more about how high are you from the mean sea level. Bearing and speed tells about the direction that you're heading to in terms of when you're doing data collection. And then one important tool is accuracy. So accuracy tells you how accurate are you from the point that you're collecting. So if it's 3 meters, then you're 3 meters away from that point. So you need to, have a lower number there, let's say a centimeter. So when you have, let's say, 0 accuracy, that means you're exactly at that point. So the more satellite images that are sending signals to your device, the more accurate your data your point is in terms of data collection. And so these tools also are designed in the way that after acquiring data, they can share those data in different file formats that I shared earlier. So some of them I didn't mention. I only mentioned SHP, but we have KLM file, CSV, and many more. So examples of those data collection tools include Kobo Collect. So Kobo Toolbox is a server, and Kobo Collect is a mobile app that you can use to collect data. So you collect data using Kobo Collect, then send it to Kobo Toolbox, is where you can see how your data is portrayed. So these tools, another one is Open Data Kit, ODK. They are very similar in terms of their ability to collect data offline in the field and synchronize it when you have internet. They also support other kind of data such as text, pictures to support the data that the spatial data that you collected. So you might be wondering maybe which tool you'll want to use, maybe ODK or Kobo. What I would say is that if you're interested in new features, timely new features, ODK Collect might be a great tool for you. But again, Kobo always update that after some time, almost like 2 months. Then that feature is available in Kobo Collect. So if you're not in a hurry about new features, you could always use Kobo Collect as an app. But again, you could use ODK as ODK Collect as an app. Then you could send data to Kobo Toolbox as a saver. And if you prefer Kobo Collect as an app, you could also send the data to Kobo Toolbox as a saver. So this is one inspirational work that I engage with some YouthMappers here in the country. They use Kobo Collect to collect flood experience data set in Ifakara, and Kobo Toolbox as a saver offers also ways that you could portray how people are collecting data and strategize on new ways or the next day that people are going to the field. So it's a great tool in terms of it gives you reports and a layout map to show how people have submitted their data sets. So they are really amazing tools. The other day I was looking at Missing Map on Twitter and saw this interesting list. But again, we have Everydoor mobile app, which is the best OpenStreetMap editor for point of interest and entrances. So Everydoor offers 100% OpenStreetMap is 100% OpenStreetMap editor with no dependencies on the third-party endpoints. So whenever you collect any information from Everydoor app, it goes right away to OpenStreetMap. So this is the last slide where I want to remind YouthMappers in here or anyone who is interested, just visit youthmappers.org. We have a great resource library there where you could learn different kind of skills in terms of online mapping, mobile mapping, offline mapping, and drone for OSM. So thank you so much, and yeah, back to you, Ibrahim.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eric, for this wonderful presentation. Of course,
And I see we have 9 beginners, we have 14 intermediate, and we have 4 advanced. This is kind of great distribution. Yeah, thank you so much, and back to you, Ibrahim.
thank you so much, Mr. Eric, for this wonderful presentation. Of course, you've highlighted us in the area of geospatial tools. There are lots of tools, both mobile mapping tools, and I'm sure the participants learned a lot. I learned from the presentation. I'm sure also most of the members also learned a lot. Without wasting time, also to another facilitator for today's training. Of course, it's mainly on GIS. GIS is a very important sector that is applicable in all aspects, in all fields. So we are going to have a session from another wonderful facilitator. Before moving, I would like to introduce the next facilitator for today's training.
Yeah, you can share.
Right. Let me briefly introduce our next facilitator, of course, Nishan Kumar Aryal. All right. Let me quickly run off on the introduction of this wonderful facilitator we have. Mr. Aryal is a 2023 YouthMappers Leadership Fellow. He's a first advocate in Nepal involved in different community organizations aspiring to continue with the area of ER, risks, and vulnerability mapping and data-driven decision-making support system. He was awarded with Microsoft's Most Valuable Professional Award for his technical contribution in the area of Microsoft Azure platform and also has been actively involved in open source community since 2011. He has been supporting open community spread at university and college level since his involvement in FOSS Nepal from 2012. He has been closely working with open source community. He has been selected for the international training program, Disaster Risk Management Cohort 5. Of course, we are honored to have this wonderful facilitator. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome our next facilitator, Nishan Kumar Aryal from Nepal, YouthMappers Regional Ambassador.
Hey, Ibrahim.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me just share the screen. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for organizing this YouthMappers knowledge sharing sessions. So today I'll be talking more about the OSM. I think most of you know
Hey,
what's
Nishan, where
OSM.
are you from?
I'm from Nepal.
Okay, buddy. Hindu?
Yeah. Yes. So where are you from?
India.
Wow. Yeah, I'm from Nepal. So we are neighbors.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just continue with the topic. So today I'll be talking about the OSM and the tasking manager. So today I'll be focusing more on the humanitarian assistance because like I've been working so closely with the humanitarian assistance as a crisis manager. So I'm a regional ambassador for Asia Pacific. Okay, so today I'll just explain what is OSM if anybody want to share. Any of the friend is welcome. Like you can just speak up. What is OSM? If you know, you can just share your experiences.
Yeah, I think they can share that in the text box. Yes. As you move on with your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So we just talk about the OSM is like it's an open street map. So it's your effort, my effort, and all the community effort. So we just come together start mapping in a tool. So that will be like online, or sometimes OSM doesn't have to be always online. So we can also map as an offline tool also. So we have been like our friends talked about the field mapping. So all those, the term itself is like open source mapping. So it's an open street map. So it's a free and open source. Do anybody know about the tasking manager? Have you heard about it?
Josh.
Okay. So what's the tasking manager? Can you just let me know what you know? So let me just explain you. So tasking manager is a tool, so that helps us to work in a team. So we just divide the big map into small chunks, and I just give some pass to, let's maybe for my Indian friend, maybe for my friend from the Ethiopia and all those. So we'll be just so we'll be just working remotely in the same project at the same time. So it will be used like whenever we have some earthquake or maybe some sort of floods or some sort of disaster, we just come together from different places of the world and start mapping for the good. So it's a tool. So this tasking manager just facilitates the distribution of the tasks to the various mappers. Maybe the one mapper could be from the Bangladesh, or maybe one mapper could be from the US, or maybe from the Brazil. So we just come together and work in a team. So we can just keep track of everything what we do in the map. So it's a tasking manager. Okay, so can anybody just help me to describe what's the we are talking about the online tool, and I'm just showing you some pictures so where the people are seeing. So is there any connection between the OSM tasking manager and the picture shown? Been talking about like it's an online tool, and I'm showing you the one picture, so which is showing the map of the buildings, and the people and the local community people are just looking at it. So how can you just make connection with all these three topics? Anybody want to answer this? Okay, let me just answer this. Okay, so OSM is not only about like the online tool, like it's the comprehensive mapping. Like we just go with the community, we just go to the community, and we just sit with them, and we just show them like this is the current status of the satellite image, and so we just ask the local people, like we just respect the indigenous knowledge also. So we just say like so according to the satellite map, according to the aerial map, so it's showing here is the flood, here is the crisis, here is the lack of the water resources and all those, and we just go to the local community and just validate the data that we receive from the satellite maps. Okay, so we basically use this sort of maps and go to the community and just validate our data. Okay, so we just start with the tasking manager. So as per the information, like today we have 26%, 26 to 30%. They don't know about the OSM and the tasking manager. So today I'll be just trying to focus more on like how to get started with the tasking manager. So if you all have access to the laptop, and you can just open your browser and go to openstreetmap.org. Okay, we just so everybody just go to the browser and just open the OpenStreetMap. So let me just share the screen again. I'm just shifting. Okay. Okay, so we just go to the OpenStreetMap, and like if you have already signed up, so you can just leave it, or if not, you can just sign up here. Okay, so for now I've already the ID, so I just log in here. The name for the OpenStreetMap. So if you still don't know, like we just go to openstreetmap.org. So this is the official website for the OSM. We just sign up and you'll just get this map. Okay. So here you can just go to any of the destination, like maybe I just want to go to my city. Now I just search it here. Okay, so I just search it here. Like it's more similar to the Google Map. Like the only difference between OSM and the Google Map is like OSM is open source, and we can just get all the data from the from OSM for free. We don't have to pay for it. Okay, so like the other maps, you can just zoom it and you can just find wherever the hospitals are, wherever the schools are, everything. What's the map there? So we just see everything here. Okay, so now we just so when you are just logged in, you can just go to this menu. So from here you can just see like how many maps, how many buildings you have mapped for now. For now I'll just go to my dashboard, and it will just say you like, so where I have just mapped in the recent. Okay, so in recent time I've just mapped in the Kathmandu. So these are showing my some of the recent maps. And so other people who are just working on the OSM, we can just find it here. We can just add some friends here, so everything is here. So if you want to just change your photo and name, all those, you can just go to your profile. It's here in my profile, and from here you can just send a message to the friends also. So this is the basics of the OSM. So now I'll just teach you how to add one building. Okay. So maybe for now I'll just go to one country. So can you just say me your city name, so I can just go to your city and start mapping. So anybody can say your city name.
Dar es Salaam.
Freetown.
So how do you spell it?
FREECOWN.
Oh, it's not fine. So maybe I go to Kenya. So it will be most easy for me. Okay, I'm just going to Kenya. It's a country. It's showing here. Okay. So maybe now, for now, I'm just going here. Okay. So I just want to start mapping here. So I just go to edit here and okay, let me just zoom down. Okay, so whenever I just zoom it, like it will show me the edit option. Okay, so now here you can just use the edit button. So edit with ID is like you'll be just editing in the browser. So if you are just using the other tools like the Awesome and Postgres, so you just go with this. But today we'll be just starting with this edit with the ID from the browser. So now it will just help. It will just take you to the next page. So where you can just start editing. Okay. And just in here you see here is like so it's just saying like I was just editing some parts of the Kathmandu, my city, and I just closed the browser and it says like do you want to just go through that again, or like you want to just start new? I'm just saying like start new. So it will just give you some highlights like how to get started. Okay. Okay, now I'll just start mapping. Okay. So now once you just keep on zooming, like you'll just find some buildings, maybe trees. So maybe I just go to some city because I can only see the trees and the forest here. Oh, I can't see any buildings here. Can you say me one city name in the Kenya?
Nairobi.
Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay.
Or you can use this mile 91. Mile 91. MILE space.
Am I on this? 91?
Yes.
Okay.
Space, yes, 91. Mile 91. You can say it.
Yeah, okay, it's mile 91. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So now today we are just going here. Okay, so we can just so as we zoom on, we can just see some of the buildings. Maybe even we can see some of the towers here. Maybe it's a telecom tower and all those. So now I'll just go to edit and start editing this part. Okay, so here we see lots of buildings and the trees, right? And we can see the highway also. So now if you want to just start with like if you want to like you can just start mapping with the buildings, or maybe you can just start mapping the roads, or maybe rivers, or maybe you can just start mapping the places of the risks, maybe like the places for the earthquake, or the places for the landslide, or you can just map anything. So for now I'll just teach you how to map. Okay, so you can see here the 3 points, right? So one is point, line, and area. Okay, so it's very simple. Like if you're just trying to map any point, you just use this. Okay, and if you're just trying to draw some highway, you just use the line. So if you are just trying to just map the area, or maybe it's a school, or maybe a hospital, or maybe it's a building, we just go with the area. Okay, so for now I just go with the maybe I see here this building is small building is not mapped, right? So what I choose is like I just go to here area, and I just start just click here and just click on the corners. Okay, corners of the building, and just click here. So and here. So now here's the building. Okay, so when I have to just stop it, like I just double click on the same point. So now it shows this polygon. So if you want to make this clearly rectangle, you just right click here and just make it square. Okay, so it will just make it a square automatically. And now you just click it here, and you just have to give name here. So it's clearly saying like select a feature type. Maybe so you can just map the building also. Maybe if you say like it's a hospital, you just have to just say this hospital. Okay, so if it's a hospital, you just write it's a hospital. Okay, so maybe if you write this hospital, so maybe you can just give the name of the hospital, maybe the ABC hospital name. Okay, and maybe this hospital have is a 5-story building, so I just write 5 here. So it's just an example, so it's not a real, okay, for now. So the height maybe let's say it's a 30 meters high, and I just say address, and I just say city is Nairobi, and and I just write some postal code here. So it's I'm just giving the data, like the hospital may have many metadata, so I'm just filling out the data. Okay, so the hospital may have some other tags. So maybe the address is that Nairobi, I just put it here. So maybe if you want to just give some more metadata to this, you just type it here. Maybe maybe wheelchair. Maybe I just want to say like this hospital is a wheelchair friendly, so I just type wheelchair here, and I just say it like yes. So that means like this property is wheelchair friendly. Okay, so if you want to just write it here, like maybe the water. Okay, so maybe if you want to just mention the water source for this, you can just type it here. So anything, any metadata you just find, you just can start putting here. So it's so this is all about this OSM, and whenever you have the users finish it, you just save it. So it's still this is not saved. You just press this save it, and it will just ask you to publish it, because this is just a demo for now. I'm not saving it. Is it clear till now?
Very clear, sir.
Okay. Okay, now I'm just going back to the presentation again. So with
Excuse me,
the
brother.
yes.
Can you give me more idea about how to map in case of landslide of forest one?
Yeah, I'll just cover it in my last slide. Okay, so those are on the last slides. So I'll just cover those.
Okay.
Yes, I want to ask,
Yeah.
like for those beginners who do not have any accounts, OSM accounts,
Yes.
how can they open accounts using OSM community that is
Okay.
doing using the website?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I'm just showing you. Let me just share the screen. Okay. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes. Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, yeah. So this is the OpenStreetMap page. So I'm not if you see, I'm not logged in here, right? So it's just asking me to log in. So I'm an anonymous person for this now. So I just go to sign up here, and you can just use your own personal email. Maybe like if you say xyzabc at maybe gmail.com, or maybe you can just use a university email, anything email you have, and you just write a name. Okay, and you just set your password, and after this it will just send one confirmation email to your email confirmation message, and whenever you just click like your OSM account is created, and then you can just use the same to log in back. Is it clear?
Yes, very clear, very clear. Thank you.
Yeah, just start with the email. So I just recommend you to use your own personal email rather than university email, because so after 4 or 5 years after graduation, you just have to leave your university, and those emails may not be available to you for the lifetime. So I just recommend you to use your personal email, so you can use throughout your lifetime. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, very clear.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So now you have some idea about like what is OSM, right? So it's like we just went there, we just log in there, and we just map a building. So it's not a hard task, right? So now the tasking manager is the same. So only the thing here is like with the OSM, I can just go to any places of the world and just map it. Like maybe I just go to Nairobi and map one building, and come back to Nepal and go to India. So I can just play with around the globe, right? So I can just play anywhere I want. But with this tasking manager, so we just focus in one area. Okay, so maybe we just heard the earthquake in the Morocco last week, right? So whenever there is a crisis, or whenever there is disaster, so the humanitarian assistance organization, that they just call for the help, like asking like let's start mapping. Okay, so for those, like we just go to the same place and map. Okay, so with the tasking manager, we just go to one of the project, and we just focus in that area and start mapping. Okay, so I just go here, and like this is the same, like we just go to login, and once we have ID with the OpenStreetMap, we can just log in with the same ID. We don't have to create the different one for the tasking manager, because tasking manager is one of the tool based on the OSM. So like we don't have to create the new ID. We just we can use the same ID. Okay, so we just go with this login. This is the login issue. We just go into the login and log in with the OSM, and it will just ask for us to grant the access. We just grant the access. Okay, so like then we just go to the explore projects. So there are the many projects you can explore. So I just want to show you here like how we do this. Okay, just go to Google and I just find tasking manager OSM. So it will be easy. Like you don't have to remember all the URLs. So it's a task dot okay. It's a task dot OSM.org, and I just okay. I just go to here login, and it will just show me the options to log in. Okay. Okay. So because I'm already logged in here in the OpenStreetMap, so it will just help me to log in. So I don't have to give because I've already provided the permissions. So with this page, you can just go to here explore projects. So do you see my mouse here? Explore projects. So
Yes,
like
yes.
yes. So we just go to the explore project and we can see every project like in the tasking manager. Okay. So here based on your like if you are a very new mapper, so you just select your difficulty level to easy. Okay. So if you have already mapped some places and you are already moderate mapper, you can just go to the moderate. Okay. So for now I just start with the easy because most of them are the new here. So I just find the easy. So all the projects that are labeled with easy are only shown. Okay. So here. Okay. So here's one project like building and road mapping in the Kalurata district. Okay. And maybe you can just find the other projects also like the project to validate. So with the tasking manager, you can just start mapping, or you can just start validating, or you can just search for some old projects that are already archived here. Okay. So maybe projects to map. So because we are just trying to map something today, so we just start with the easy one. So difficulty level is the easy, and the project level we are just searching for the projects to map. Okay. Yeah. And for the campaign also like so there are so many organizations like who are creating the projects. Maybe in case of the Africa, some maybe the African Association for Geospatial Development. So that organization have some projects. You can just only find those projects also. You can just search it here. Okay, so there are no any easy projects with that one. So I just go with the maybe the action for the economic forums. Okay, here. And like so if you don't know like how to get how to just set all those, you can just find the place name. So how do we spell Nairobi? And IAROBI, right? Just, it's a yeah, NAIROBI, right? Okay. So I just want to find like is there any project related to the Nairobi? Yeah, there are so many projects, right? So that are in the Nairobi. So here like it's saying like it's a medium. So it's a urgency level, it's a low level, it's a low level. Okay. So maybe I just start with one. Here I just go here. So when you just go into any of the projects, so there are so many things we need to just understand it. Okay. So now we are already we just know how to explore the project, right? We know how to search the projects and go into the project. So with the explore projects, and now we just talked about like we can just search the project based on the project name, or maybe with the location, or maybe with the campaign organizer, or maybe with the other features. Okay. So so once we go into any of the project, like it will just give you like what is the project about. Maybe some project is trying to map the COVID cases, or maybe some is trying to map the number of the landslides in the area, or maybe with the flood, or maybe with the damaged buildings. So there could be the nature of the project could be different. So we just start with that, and it will just show us the different parts. So it will just give us a brief description of the project, and it will just give us some instructions like so for this project like so we just focus on mapping the buildings only, or maybe the roads or rivers, or some say like you can just map only the rivers, so you don't have to map other things, only the rivers. Or maybe some say like you just map the damaged buildings, so you don't have to map the building which are in the good condition, just map the damaged buildings only. So based on the project, so we have to just read all the instructions of the project before we start. Yeah, and it will just show us the map also. So here so in the here in the map what you see is like you just see a map with the different colors. So some is marked with the green here, some is marked with the blue, some is marked with the white, or some is marked with the green, dark green, right? So all these have the different meanings. So if the map have the white, so it's you can just go in that portion and just start mapping, because nobody because that place is still available for mapping. So like if anybody have just already mapped and is ready for the validation, we just go to the blue one. And for the yellow one, so we just need the more mapping. So based on the colors, so here in the legend also you can see, in the legend you can see here, with the color coded, we can just navigate to the project like wherever you whether you want to just map the new one, or you want to go for the validation, or you want to see which area is mapped or not. Okay. And here, like you can see some of the this lock sign. So you can see in the black one the lock sign. So that means those are not available. So those are already locked. Okay. Maybe someone else is already working on that part, and so it will not allow you until that person leaves that part. Okay. So the next is like with the OSM. So we can just select the editor. Maybe like with the, like I said, like ID editor is for the web. JOSM editor is the desktop application, and the Postgres is different, and the field papers is different. So so if you are really a beginner and a moderate mapper, so you start with the ID editor, okay? Because it's pretty easy than other tools. So for the other tool, like you need to be more advanced. And with this square, like I will say, like what is the if it is a blue, so what it means is like ready for the validation. So you need to just make sure like you see the colors of the square box. Okay. So just don't go randomly and just click the square box and start mapping. So you need to know what the color denotes and why you are there, like whether you want to go for the validation or you want to map for the new. Okay. So this talks about the color codes here. So selecting the editor is like so the ID editor is browser based, and the JOSM is like the desktop application based. So JOSM editor is more used by the moderate and the advanced mapper, while the ID editor is used by the general mapper or the beginner mappers. Okay. So I'm just going back to this tasking manager. So is there any confusion till this part? Because like I'll be covering a bit more.
It's very clear.
Okay. So now we are in one of the project, like in the hot tasking manager. So this part is the main title of the project. So it's saying like ID maps community mapping. So it's the title. So it's so this is showing like who is organizing this, and this is the description of the map. Okay. So why is this mapping project created, and the types of mapping, like in this project the map the task owner just is saying like you just map these roads and buildings. Okay. So he's not they are not asking you to map the waterways and maybe the land use or maybe some other. So in this project they are just asking you to map the roads and the buildings. Okay. So we need to just see this what they are asking. And so for the imagery, like our friend previous friend just talked about the satellite imagery. So maybe for the satellite imagery, if you have the own source maybe the map collected from the drone you can just use. But for this project it's just saying like just take reference of the Bing map. Okay. Imagery. And there are already 73 contributors. The contributors are the mappers. Okay. So who is really contributing, like in terms of the validating or maybe in terms of the adding the new features here. And it was last contributed 1 week ago. Okay. And here you see medium is like this project is like not so critical. It's just a medium average, like, so there is no any high urgency or like it's a moderate one. Okay. So if you want to go still here, you can just zoom it here. Okay. And so here's the description here, and the coordinator of this project is the map Kibra, and the terms and permission is all here. Okay. So now I just go here and I just click the contribute, because I want to map on this project, right? And it's just saying like the task is this, and instruction is just giving us the instruction like we just map the building and the roads, change it committed, like so it's just asking like if you so whenever you are just saving it, just try to save with this, so the other can just keep track of you. Okay. And everything is like I just already said is showing this. And now I just choose the editor. Maybe like I go with the JOSM or the ID editor. So for now I just go with the ID editor. I just select this and I just map a task. And pretty easy, like so we just read everything there and we just start mapping. So is it clear till now?
Yeah, very clear.
Okay. So now the screen is same, right? Like in the OpenStreetMap, like we use the same screen. We see the point, line, area, and this map. And here also, like when you are in the edit, it's the same, right? Is there any difference? Do you see any difference?
No.
It's the same, right? It's the same screen. So if you know how to edit in OpenStreetMap, you can just work on the tasking manager. Okay. So it's pretty easy. So here also we just go here and we just say like okay, so maybe it's a building. I just go here and I just start mapping. So I'm just thinking like here's a building. Okay, so here's not a real building. I'm just thinking like, okay, here's a building. for a demo. And I just say like, here's let's say school. Now for now, I just want to go with the school, music school maybe. I love music and I want to give you a music. So I just say, so Nairobi Music School. Okay. So maybe who is the operator? Maybe so I'm the operator maybe. Okay. So I just put the address here. So I just say it's a building. Yeah, it's a building. So at what time it opens is like so Monday to Friday it opens from 8 to 5 p.m. Okay. So maybe I just want to add other tasks. So I mean it is like it's a music school obviously, and it's a building is yes. So the name is Nairobi Music School opening out, and I can just put others maybe. Is it a wheelchair? Wheelchair friendly? Yes, it's a wheelchair friendly. Yes. So that means like it's a accessibility friendly, and maybe like so there is other. If you want to post maybe the phone number maybe. Okay, so I just want to put phone number here for this. Okay, so it's a phone number. So it's so this is all over. Like if you are not a technical person, also you can just you know what to put, right? So you don't have to think like, oh, I'm not this technical person, so I don't know how to map. It's not that. So whatever you know, you just put it. And if you are not sure what you have put, don't put it. If you are not sure, don't put it. So if you are just put only the information you know it. Okay, wrong information and the false information is not good. So just put what you know. Okay. So if I don't know like it's a wheelchair friendly or not, I just don't put that because it will just give us a misinformation and that will be hard. Okay. So this is the same idea here, and here you can just zoom into the map here. Okay. Zoom into the map, and you can just zoom out map, and you can just select the pointer here, and you can just show your location. So if you want to go to your own location, you just press this. It will just ask you for the location and go. So here, so you can just see some tiles, right? So as we are already familiar with the other maps also, so it's very easy. Like so with these layers, so we can just change the map layer. Like so if you just want to validate your so whether it's so you are confused like whether it's a building or it's a other thing. So you just change the map here sometimes. So you can just validate. Okay. So you can just go with the other maps also. Maybe you can just upload your custom maps also, custom imagery, and you can just start working. Okay. So it's very easy. Any confusion till here? Hello?
Yes,
We are good. We are good, sir.
Okay. So I think now everybody knows how to map the basic things, right? Okay.
Yes.
So now, so I'm just, yeah.
I want to
So let's
ask.
consider, yeah. Okay, let's consider here's one water pond, okay? So maybe we have a fish pond. Maybe we have a fish pond here. So we just map a fish pond here. Click here and just go here and we just add, maybe I just say that it's a pond, okay? It's a pond, okay? So I just name it this, anything, and I just say whether the pond contains salt, yes or no, maybe no, yeah, or I don't know, okay? And maybe you can just put other thing also like so what's the surface is about. Okay, so it's anything you want to just maybe the surfaces of the sand and all those. So so in this way you can just map maybe the pond or maybe the school, maybe the hospital and all those. Okay. Okay, so once you have just put this, like you can just save it here. Okay, you can just save your work, and it will just automatically just put the change set comment. And if you want to just add maybe the other text, maybe mapping, maybe I just mapping new. Okay, so you can just put your own hashtag, so it will be easy for you to find it. Okay, so for the other tags also uses and you just upload it. So once you upload, so it will be just visible on the this OpenStreetMap for the public. So make sure so all the information you provide is valid, or if you are not sure, you don't publish it. You can just tick this here. So I would like someone to review it. So if you click here, so someone reviewer will just take care of that, and like if it's a valid information, they'll just approve it. If not, they'll just deny it. Okay, so if you are a beginner mapper, so you just make sure you click this. Okay, so other can review your works. Is it clear till now?
Yes,
Yes,
it's clear.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So how much time do I have now? So how long?
I think it's almost. You can round up
Okay,
now.
so maybe yeah, maybe someone was asking me how to map a landslide, right? So maybe I have to answer that now. Okay. Okay, so before we just like being as a humanitarian worker, what we do like so before starting any map, so we just form a group and we just say like, okay, here's a mountain, here's a pond, so here's a lake, so we'll just map in a big paper. So this is a field mapping. So we just go with the community, and so once the information is we know where it is, and then only we go to the laptop and the tablets. So it's a different objective. Okay. So these are some of the trainings we have been doing. So I'm just going here. Okay. Okay. So once you just finished it, so it will just ask you like, so is there any issue? So if there is no any issue, then it will just say like everything looks fine. You can save your work. Okay. So if there is any issue, it will just show some warning. Maybe sometime you were just making some road, and there's a river and road. There's an intersection. So there will be a confusion. So in that case, like this tasking manager automatically knows there's a warning. So it will just ask you to fix that. Okay. We already talk about this, like what are these components. So I'll just go with this landslide. Okay. So I'll just share this presentation with you also, so it will be easy for you. Okay. So now one of our friends were asking like how to map the risks, maybe the landslide or the flood. So we just use the polygon. So the polygon maybe sometimes the triangle or maybe some square. Basically we use the squares because we can because we know that area is a landslide area, and we just put the natural is goes to landslide, and we just say that like, so is it a bare rock or maybe it's a cliff. So we just add all these. So these are the meta tags. Okay. Okay. So do you want me to just go with the demo, or like you get the idea?
The idea.
Okay. Okay, maybe okay. Let's consider so this the same pond I used before. So maybe just consider this as one cliff. Okay, so cliff is like the rock mountain. So I just change this to cliff. Okay, I just say it's a cliff, and I just name it as a like uh, as an area one at Nairobi. So I just I don't know what's the height here. So the naturally here is a cliff, and and the next is like, so we just say the land use is landslide. So just take here. So we just first put the natural is goes to cliff here, and the land use is the brownfield. So what's the land use like? So what's the color of it? And so what is the hazard here? So we just put the hazard type is goes to landslide or maybe the other thing. Okay. So hazard type. So hazard type is landslide. Okay. So one is the hazard type, like what is the risk for that area. So that's the landslide, and we just say like, is that area hazard prone? Yes, because that may have some negative impact on the people. So like this, we can just map the landslide. Okay. So did you get any idea? Hello?
Yes, we get everything clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So these are some of the other tags. Like, so if you want, so I'm just sharing this presentation with our friend, and he'll just share you with everyone. So if you have any problems, so you can just contact me anytime. Maybe you can just ask the friend. So he'll just share all the details. Okay. So here are some of the do and don'ts. Okay. So whenever you are just working with the tasking manager, so there are something to do and there are something you should not do. So these are some of these. So you can just explore these in your free time and enjoy this mapping. So here are some other additional resources. So you can just go to the OSM tasking manager where you can just see the tags and all those. And so if you have any confusion, you can just always reach us to us. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Nishan Aryal, for this wonderful presentation. Of course, you've clearly highlighted us in the area of OSM, ranging from opening accounts, data mapping, and also that of the HOT tax manager. Of course, for today's training, we've got from the two facilitators and we've learned a lot from them. Thank you, Mr. Erick Tamba, for taking us through the introduction to GIS and open source tool collection. And also thank you, Mr. Nishan Aryal, for taking us through the OSM community and that of the tax manager. On behalf of the YouthMappers and on behalf of the YouthMappers regional ambassadors, we want to say a very thank you to all the participants for making the one of the training a wonderful one. Of course, I'm not able to introduce all the regional ambassadors who stood up to make sure that this program is organized. But I would like to say a very big thank you to all the regional ambassadors, the 2023-2024 regional ambassadors who brought this idea of forming a webinar series. This is just a start. We'll be having different webinar series in different topics. Now, the first start is on GIS. Maybe the next will be on leadership, etc. So I want to thank everyone for participating. Today's training, we are done with it, and we anticipate greatness. Tomorrow, it will be also another wonderful day. We'll be having two facilitators also tomorrow who will be taking us to different areas, and we can't wait to meet them. I don't want to introduce them now. I'll just call their names. Tomorrow we'll be having Victor, YouthMappers Regional Ambassador based in Nigeria, an experienced QGIS specialist. And also tomorrow we'll be having also Maya Lovo from YouthMappers Regional Ambassador based in Mexico. She's also an experienced community development specialist. So they will be sharing their experience tomorrow, their skills and their expertise tomorrow. So I can't wait to have you all the participants here tomorrow. Thank you. Do you have any question before we end the session?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to ask, the link Lishan sent is based on requests. Will it be all or like?
Yeah.
Yes, the presentation slides will be shared. Any other question? Thank you. Thank you. A big thank you to our special guest, Elodie Nix, for inspiring us. We learned a lot from her. Thank you. And thank you to all the participants. Thank you to all the regional ambassadors we have in this training. Thank you, everyone. So I think we end the session here for today.